metal-heads.de.
Hello Metalheads, my name is Kayo. Right next to me is Sully Erna, and today we're gonna do an interview. So Sully, you played a couple of times here in Europe with Godsmack. Today you are playing your solo show. How was the tour so far?
It's good. We're only this is only the third show into it, but the band's in good health and good spirits, and everyone's playing really well. So we're off to a really good start so far. I'm happy with it.
Can you introduce us your band? Who is doing what?
Yeah, of course. One of my good friends, Tim Terrio, is playing guitar. One of the new guys we just brought on board, his name is Ty Zamora, who is actually our bass tech for Godsmack, but he's a great player. We have David Stefanelli on drums and Chris Decato on the keyboards, and we brought Lisa Geyer with us, who does vocals as well from the Avalon album.
Is it just an European tour, or will you go back to the US and continue your tour?
It's pretty much just a Europe tour, but we do have one show in the States we're going to do to end everything, and it's right near our homes, so it'll be convenient for us, and do one more for the family and friends and that kind of thing. Yeah.
I saw on Instagram that you played in Brussels a cover song of Chris Cornell. I guess there's a special reason for it, right?
Well, of course. I don't think that needs any explanation. They were all very dear friends of ours, and we miss them, and we have to continue to try to honor their music and their legacy that they left behind. And if that's what it takes sometimes to just kind of pull out a song, something that's classic from them that the fans can remember them by, then it's an honor to be able to sing it.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about your music. Last year, your new record came out, Hometown Live, and I want to ask you, which record was harder to produce and to write? Your first record, Avalon, or the new one?
I think Avalon was, if I look back, it was probably more difficult because Avalon was really a creation on the spot. Everything came very organically, very naturally. Hometown Life was more of stuff that I was kind of collecting over the years when I was touring with Godsmack, and just putting it to the side and knowing that, at some point we'll get a break and I'll do another record. But Avalon took a little bit more carving and creativeness, and there was a lot more input from other band members. And it was just something that kind of happened, again, very organically. So there was certainly more work put into that record. But, we didn't, it's not like we planned on taking 7 years to write the record. It's just that we were just writing, it was just, I wasn't even sure I was going to release a solo record. It just came when it came.
When do you know a song is done, it will come onto a record?
When it's in my back pocket.
So it's a natural thing that you feel happy and everything is harmonious, that you say, all right, that's a song, it will hit the record, basically.
Yeah, once the song's complete, lyrics, melodies, everything's done and arranged, then I can kind of step back and listen to it from a fan perspective. I don't try to listen to it personally, because I found in the past you can get too emotionally attached to something, and I want to just make sure it's good. So before I let it go, I disconnect my emotions from what it's about, and I just listen to it from an outside perspective. And if it feels good to me and it feels strong and the melodies are attractive and catchy, then it goes on the record.
Okay. Let's talk a bit about your new record, Hometown Live. I know that you are from, I hope I say it right, Massachusetts?
Yeah, Massachusetts. Good job.
And your band, of course, Godsmack is from Massachusetts. The New England Patriots are from Massachusetts.
You got it.
I've never been there, so can you explain me and our viewers a bit your hometown? Why is it so special?
Well, I think everybody's hometown is special to them. It's where I was born and raised. My family, my friends are there. My whole life is there. And so, I think when anyone is raised in that environment, you just become attached to it because it's very personal to you. But we're proud of Boston. And Boston, it's a great sports town. Out here in Europe, you guys have soccer, which is huge.
Yes.
In America, it's, it's football, although it's not really football. You guys have the real football. football.
With the, yeah, with the legs.
I don't know why they. I didn't mean. I don't. You know. I didn't make it up. It wasn't my fault. You know, we have Boston's really known for like supporting their sports teams: basketball, baseball, hockey, all that stuff. And it just so happens that New England Patriots are the greatest team of all time, and that's just that. So whether you like it or not, it's too bad. That's how it is.
So one day I definitely will visit Boston, your hometown, and I want to know, can you name us 3 important spots that everybody should visit in Boston?
The North End is an amazing little area that they call Little Italy. So that's if you want like good Italian food and really nice atmosphere. They have a bunch of little stores, great gelato, things like that. The North End is one of my favorite places in Boston. There's another place called Faneuil Hall, which is kind of just an outdoor shopping plaza. They have an indoor food court, again, with really amazing food. And in the summertime, they have a lot of outdoor performers, the jugglers and all that stuff. And, of course, you have to go see the legendary Fenway Park. If you don't go there, then you're not a Boston fan. But also the Paul Revere Monument and all that as well, if you're into history. There's a lot of good history in Boston. There's the USS Constitution and, you know, all that stuff. So
definitely, I will check it out.
Definitely. And if you don't like England, it's even more reason to go to Boston, so you can go visit where we did the tea party and told the Queen to go, you know, not paying your taxes anymore.
So I saw on your new record you played all kind of instruments like guitar, piano, drums, and of course you were singing. And I count vocals as an instrument. But which instrument is your favorite instrument and why?
You know, I think drums will always be my favorite because to me, I was born and raised with drums. I've played drums my whole life, but I really have found an amazingly strong passion for the piano. You know, and I think the drums and the piano work really well together because they're both rhythmic. You know, so you can get all your melodies and you know and chords and stuff out of the piano, but it also plays rhythmically. So it works well for me. You know, I'd have to definitely say drums would be first, but I really do spend most of my time on piano now.
Okay. I want to pick out a special song on that record, and I want to talk a bit about that song. The song is called A Different Kind of Tears, because I like the lyrics, and there's also a very deep message behind that. I know that you teamed up with Mark Wahlberg for the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation. So can you tell us, our viewers, the story behind the song and what the idea behind the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation is?
Yeah, you know, the song was just a song that I had wrote. I've been friends with Mark for many years, and I know his older brother Jim, who runs Mark Wahlberg's Youth Foundation. And so I've always kind of been, you know, connected to them. But the song was written without that being involved at first. You know, and it was just something that went on the record. It was something that I had wrote just about people who feel, you know, a deep pain, an isolation that they're almost embarrassed about, that they don't want to share because it's very internal for them. And when you kind of have that kind of experience, you don't usually express it. You keep it to yourself, and that's when you get in real trouble. And so those kind of people feel like the rest of the world doesn't understand the pain. And so it's a deeper pain for them. It's a different kind of pain. And so that's what the metaphor for different kind of tears were. And so when Jim heard the song, he said, you know, I want you to come out and see one of these events. It's pretty powerful. And I came out and seen one, and it blew me away. It was really powerful. And, you know, he talked about, listen, if you have, you know, anything that you think would fit with this, we can have you come and play at some of these events, you know, and get your name even more recognized in communities that maybe aren't aware of who you are, along with, you know, doing this for a good cause. But when I seen what it was about, it was very close to home for me because I grew up in this environment with a lot of crime and drugs and violence and trouble. And so if this is my small part that I can do to help the kids stay clean and know that there's another way to be cool instead of having to lean on that, then, you know, every little bit helps.
My real job is that I'm a teacher, and for me, when I first time started teaching, I saw all the kids with these problems, and I could never imagine this kind of problems. And so could you maybe imagine to start this kind of foundation maybe in Germany, for example, or just that you say, oh no, let's stick first in America and then grow?
Listen, if we had our way, we would do this globally. This would be worldwide. I mean, if this is a problem in other countries and other states and other provinces, people need to get involved. That's the only way you're going to help this, because and I don't even think it'll stop. I think the drugs will always be available because there's a lot of bad people in this world that want to make money, and they don't care that they're killing kids or people in general. It's not even just children, right? Anybody. If you lose your wife or your dad or something, it's going to be just as painful. But my point is that it's people need to get involved and they need to engage, especially parents with their children, friends amongst friends. They need to start bringing this to their attention and let them know that they're the ones who have a choice. They're the ones who can say no. They don't have to accept this. They don't have to feel that they're alone, and they don't have to be intimidated or inspired by the wrong kids. You know, they should be able to have another outlet to go to, whether it's music or acting or painting or sports or whatever it is. But unfortunately, some people get addicted to these drugs because of an operation or something, and then the doctor prescribes them pills, and then they're addictive, you know, and they need to be aware of that stuff, and maybe take Advil or Tylenol. It may not numb the pain completely, but if it takes enough of the edge off that you don't have to rely on it, then, you know, maybe that's a better choice than becoming addicted to a fatal drug. So the medical field, I think, needs to do a little bit more about this and stay on these doctors and not give them free rein to prescribe so easily. But I think more importantly, the parents need to stay closer to their children and help them understand that they have a choice to say no.
Yeah, it's interesting what you said about that the parents should stick to their kids. And I want to ask, which Sully is more, I hope I say it right, stricted or served? Sully Erna, the father, or Sully Erna, who runs two bands when it comes to partying and all kind of, let me say, bad behavior or even prescription stuff, you know?
What's the question? Who's what? Who's more what?
Who's more stricted, served?
Strict?
Strict, yeah.
Strict, like
strength, yeah. More say, hey, don't do this.
Oh yeah,
we have to run a business. I'm your father, something like that.
That's a good question, because it's both. I mean, but I'm certainly, listen, I have one child. She means the world to me, so I am very close to her, and I make sure that I give her as much knowledge as I can in hopes that she'll just listen to a little bit of it. Because when you're at that teenage years, it's very hard to listen to your parents. I remember I didn't want to listen. And it's okay if she goes out and makes her mistakes. There's going to be things that she does wrong. There's going to be things that she does right. As long as she doesn't do the wrong things that could really put her in big trouble. And I hope that she's smart enough to know that. And I think she is. You know, and then the business side of me is obviously a different kind of discipline, because things have to run a certain way, and I am a perfectionist, and I do like things to be great. I like to have fun and keep things loose, but I like to kind of, you know, do my work ahead of time to make sure that it's going to be, you know, a great show, make sure the business is running properly, make sure everybody is in good health and good spirits and things like that. So, yeah.
Okay. Maybe do we have some kind of codex for your bands?
Codex?
Some codex or some rules about partying?
Well, I don't have to have any rules anymore because nobody in my band does hard drugs. A couple of us drink a little bit. You know, guys might smoke a little weed or whatever, but nothing dangerous. But other than that, you know, there's a pretty strict rule when it comes to working for this band, and there's no hard drugs anywhere. And I don't care if you've been with us for 20 years. If I find out, you go home.
That's normal, I guess. So maybe do you have an idea for your next solo record?
Oh, no.
Or is it just you want to finish this run?
The solo stuff I don't write to have a timeline or some kind of schedule for. I just write music when I write music, and when I have enough of it written and the band takes a break, I go and record it. You know, it's never, you know, written for the purpose of, you know, critics or radio or that kind of stuff. It's personal to me. It's another style of music that I enjoy playing. And when it's ready, it's ready.
Okay. So when you are going home, your next project will be with Godsmack, a new record next year, or will you take some time off?
No,
And
right from this tour, right into the studio, record the new Godsmack record this winter. The single will probably come out sometime around January, and then hopefully we'll have the record in everyone's hands by April.
Yeah. Can you name us the producer of that record?
It's a guy named Eric Ron.
Eric Ron.
Yep, he's going to be producing this record with me.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, thank you very much, Sully. You answered all my questions, and at least always our artist got the last word. Maybe you want to share something to our viewers and your fans. You can do it now.
In Hamburg?
Worldwide.
Worldwide?
You can do it.
This is worldwide?
It's worldwide.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody out there, for supporting me, for supporting Godsmack. It truly is a blessing to still have a career and have people care about this brand. So we just want to say that we will be seeing you back in 2018 for a world tour with Godsmack, so stay tuned.
Thank you very much.
Metalheads TV.